advice for you guys. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you guys have something, you have to ask for it and pursue it. That outreach, a lot of people don't reach out, and that's why they don't get the opportunities they want. So
Yeah.
whenever you're saying that, I was like, that's really good advice for anyone watching this.
Welcome back, friends. Today, we are in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, with an on-the-street content creator whose videos have reached literally billions of views across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and more. Our guest today has over 9 million followers across his platform, but despite that, this will be one of his first interviews he's ever done. Welcome to the show, Leon. Did you say it's Ondieki?
Ondieki. So I'm Kenyan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious about that. So, in your own words, who is Leon Ondieki?
Yeah, so I'm a content creator. I've been making videos on short form platforms for the past 5 years now, which is kind of crazy saying out loud. I usually go to busy places and do interviews on the streets. So we do a lot of trivia, games, challenges, just keep people entertained.
So I guess you're from Atlanta. Did you grow up in Atlanta?
Yeah, so I was born in Kenya, came to the US when I was 5, and since then I've been living in Atlanta.
Okay, so videos started when you went to the University of Georgia, and I tried to scroll way back. TikTok was the first thing that you made stuff on, right?
TikTok was the first platform, but I actually started before UGA. So I started my senior year in high school. The story is kind of funny because I never really cared for TikTok at all.
Okay.
I never wanted to be on TikTok. 2019 was when TikTok wasn't cool.
Was TikTok ever cool?
It is now.
Yeah.
But back then it wasn't cool. So there was this one girl in my class. I had a crush on her. And she was like, let's make it TikTok. And she showed me the TikTok. It was me asking her out on a date on a piece of paper. And then from there, she checks yes and we hold hands and we eat together. I was like, say less. Let me download this app. Okay. So I downloaded the app. We made the video. And then from then on, I had it on my phone. So 2 weeks later, I'm chilling in my weight training class. We have an extra 45 minutes and I'm bored. I'm scrolling through my apps. I see TikTok over there and I record a skit at the gym. It was just a video I thought was funny. And then about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I'm touring UGA and my phone starts going crazy. I check it. The video's at 50,000 views, then 100,000 views. I go home that night, wake up the next morning. The video's at 1 million views. By the end of that weekend, the video's at 8 million views and I gained over 100,000 followers.
Oh my God. And that was your first video ever that you posted, right?
That was the third or fourth. So I had the first video, which was the date one.
Okay.
And then this was a fitness skit. So from then on, I started making a few other fitness skits. And eventually I was like, I'm really bad at talking to people.
Sure.
So I was like, I have 100-something thousand followers. Maybe if I start doing interviews, it's going to hold me accountable so that I get better at talking to people, There's people watching, so I have to get better at talking, They're going to make fun of me until I get better.
Sure.
So that's what social media was for me at first. It was just holding myself accountable and putting myself in an uncomfortable position to get better at talking to people.
So who was your friend that was in that video, and was he bummed that it wasn't on his account? So that way he had 100,000 followers in the first 2 weeks? Yeah, because I looked at that and the comments, I mean, obviously there's thousands and they're all just so what the video is it shows a friend of yours who's lifting weight and it says text on the screen, something like, my friends at school made fun of me and called me fat. And then it shows you just ripped and it said, and you're lifting weights and it says, so I got swole. And then the comments are just thousands of people going, that's not you. And then other people going, it could be him.
That's funny. I didn't think you'd see that. Yeah. So, he honestly didn't care. We did 1 or 2 more with him. We did a reverse one.
Yeah.
Everyone at school used to make fun of me for being fit. So I got fat and then he was sitting there eating a box of pizza. And then we did another one where it was there's this one tall basketball player. It was everyone in school made fun of me for being tall. So I became short. And then it was me. We just did a bunch of spinoffs and those videos were super, super funny. And it was rage baiting people for some reason.
Yeah.
But that was early TikTok. The dumbest videos used to go viral back then. It was crazy. It was a crazy, crazy time.
I feel dumb videos still go viral all the time. So that you were actually in high school at the time when you made those ones then?
Yeah, that was late 2019.
Okay. So when you went to college, it says on your LinkedIn, I forget exactly what it says you went to college for, management information systems or something. What even is that? What did you go to school for?
Yeah. So I went to UGA for computer science. And then a year and a half in, I was okay, CS is a little hard. It's kind of hard balancing school and social media. So I was let me switch over to management information systems. It's an in-between of computer science and I would say business.
Okay.
So finance and management.
And social media was already a big part of your life at that point then? Because it hadn't been very long. I mean, it was obviously 1 week and you had a bunch of followers, but even so.
Yeah. So by that point, I mean, I'd been doing it for like 2.5 years. That was like my sophomore year in college, and I started in high school. So
Oh,
social
okay.
media is actually how I was paying for college. Like, funny story. The month before college started, so July of 2020, I had like $2,000 to my name.
Yeah.
I had this one card game that was paying like that's where I got all my money from. It was
Car game?
card.
Oh,
It was
card.
called What Do You Meme?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you've heard them?
Well, I mean, I saw your content and I was going to ask you about that, if that was like a brand sponsor that you got right away or what, because you made a lot of videos from them.
Yeah, that was one of my first sponsors. So they had a different system back then. So they paid you based off the amount of likes you got. So if you got like 1 million likes, you got something like $5,000, and then it was kind of less going down.
Yeah.
And then during the holidays, they had like different incentives. So at $2,000 for my name in July, I knew that money was going to be gone regardless. Like as soon as school started, it would go towards school, and then I'd still be broke.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me pour this money into my content. I know that there's a lot of money to be made with a sponsor. So I liked watching shows like Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, like all these trivia shows. And no one on social media at the time was giving any sort of reward for being in the videos, like to their participants.
Yeah.
So I was like, I could do a trivia game with these cards, film it at the mall. If they get all the questions right, I'll take them to a store. Like, let's say they spin the wheel, it lands on Nike. I'll take them to Nike and they get to pick out whatever they want.
Okay.
So we started playing those trivia games with the cards at the malls, and people got the questions right, took them to the store, filmed the entire thing. Has he ever been to Disney World?
Yes.
Have you? Yes. So you guys got one question right, so you guys get one spin.
Okay.
You guys get a pair of Vans, so we're going to the Vans store.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And every single video started hitting. It was like 1 million views, 2 million views. Like, and back then those were translating to dollars, because the more likes, the more money I was making. I started making like $500 a day, $1,000 a day.
Whoa.
By the end of that first month, we crossed like mid 5 figures.
Whoa.
And that made me enough money to pay for college, buy my first car. And then that's like when I was like, okay, this social media stuff is real. Like I could take this far.
Why'd you even bother continuing to go to school at that point then?
I grew up in an African household. School is like the most important thing outside of God. It was like God and then school.
And family was pressuring you to do so. What's something you actually learned in college that, because you graduated, right?
I don't think I'd be where I am right now if I didn't go to college, because the majority of our content was filmed in college campuses.
Sure, yeah.
So college was honestly super, super important for me to be where I am right now. Like I wouldn't have adapted my videos to, or even had the place to film. Like my real, like, I guess, blow up on social media happened when I got to UGA. Because now I was in a place where there's a lot of college students, a lot of people walking around, and college students are the easiest people for us to film because they want to be in front of the videos. They want to win the prizes. They have the most energy. $10 or a spin on the wheel?
I'll spin the wheel.
So that's whenever my account really started taking off once I got to UGA.
Okay, so the original money, when you're saying you're taking to them to the Nike store and all that, for those first few videos, was it out of that $2,000 you had in your bank account? Or
Yeah. I cleared my bank account. I went broke after that.
just to
For a
put in
little
for
bit.
prizes for
Yeah,
people?
I spent all $2,000. I had nothing left to my name after that. Like in a week, that money was blown.
I mean, you still don't see that many people doing it. Like I see Wyatt do it, which we should talk about that really quick. Why are you in Wisconsin? Because is this even is this your first time here?
Yeah, this is well, I used to live in Iowa for a little bit. So I've been to Wisconsin before, but this is actually my friend Wyatt's spot. So Wyatt was one of the first friends who I made on social media. I think we met in like 2022. We had a mutual friend. His name's James. James also makes content on social media. His TikTok's like James SEO.
Okay.
And we all did the same type of content. We were all doing like public interviews at that time. And James was like, yo, there's this kid. I'm mutuals with him. He's coming down to UGA. He does similar content. Super cool guy. You guys should meet up. So when Y came down to UGA, we met. And then from there, started creating content together. So we went on a trip to New York. We both recorded at Times Square. And then from there, whenever I dropped out of school, we went on a tour to a bunch of different SEC schools. Like we bought Tesla Model Ys. And we traveled across all the SEC schools, sleeping in our cars, showering at Planet Fitnesses, recording from school to school on the road for like a month and a half. That was like the craziest grind period. And honestly, that's one of my biggest regrets in life, not documenting that process. Because I feel like people look at where we are now, like 9 million followers. I have the Lambo, I have the TRX, like whatever. And they're like, they see this like success we've gotten from social media, but they think we just spawned in with it. Like they didn't see the sleeping in the car, showering, Planet Fitnesses on the road away from everything for like a month and a half.
Yeah. Or Wyatt ziplining in his backyard on a couch trying to get any attention from somebody. Now he doesn't have to risk his health. Wyatt Eiden was a guest on the show a while back. That's how I know who you are. During the show, I asked him, I think something like, who helped you the most? And he brought up your name, that he learned a lot from you. What's something you learned from him?
Wyatt is one of the most organized people I've ever met. Like before I met Wyatt, I didn't have a dedicated filmer. I had no systems in place with my social media business. Like I always saw social media as a business, but I wasn't running it like a business owner. I was running it like a creator. So I knew I had to make the videos. I knew I had to post, but like there was no systems at all. And Wyatt came and he introduced me to systems. And that honestly changed my life, like as a creator and as a business owner.
Dude, Wyatt, I talk about him on the show all the time. Maybe he doesn't know this. Wyatt might be the smartest person I've ever met in my life. There are very few people that I've met where I'm like, you're so much smarter than me that it's like blatantly obvious to me that you're way smarter than me. And Wyatt is one of those people. So shout out to Wyatt Eiden. Wyatt rules. So how did you get, let's talk about how you got your first brand deal, because I know that went kind of quickly as far as how much money was made from that. But I feel like a lot of people have no idea how to even reach out to a brand in the first place. So what was the first brand deal? Was it the What Do You Meme game? How did you like line that up?
Yeah, I would say the first like important brand deal was What Do You Meme? And most of the time as a creator, as long as you focus on making good quality content and you're posting consistently and you're getting decent views, if you have an email in your bio, brands will reach out to you. So they're either going to send you a DM on Instagram or they'll reach out directly to that email in your bio and they come to you. You shouldn't focus on doing outreach to brands. That's kind of hard because a lot of brands don't even manage their partnerships themselves. They have like agencies that do the outreach. So brands will reach out to you.
Wow. I guess you're the first person I've ever heard give that little tidbit of knowledge. So how did you know what to sign for that? Like, what was the contract? Was it like okay, we want you to do 10 videos and then it's going to give you this many dollars per likes kind of a thing, so your earning potential has no ceiling at all? Like, what did it even look like for that?
That deal was honestly crazy. So how it worked was they paid you based on the amount of likes you got. I'll send you a screenshot of the original, I guess, sheet they had.
Yeah.
But it was based off likes and they had no ceiling. And that month, whenever I made that absurd amount of money, that July, they actually changed the rules and set a cap of $50,000 lifetime. So you can't pass 50,000. Once you hit 50,000, you're kicked off the program. But before then, there was no ceiling.
Wow.
So they paid you based on the amount of likes. And I think you had to post at least like 4 videos a month or something like that to stay in the program.
So did you get cut off from that right away? And were you focusing immediately on something else? Like, did you already have a bunch of other brand deals in place? Because you made a lot of those videos. Or did you just keep making those without getting paid because they were so successful at the time? Because they were genius, like going up and using that when you're in a drive-through with people, like they were working for sure. Yeah.
So the majority of those videos were actually shot before I figured out like how to really maximize views. So I worked with them for, I want to say like almost a full year.
Okay.
Maybe, okay, that might be a lie. Maybe like 6 months before I figured out, okay, let me pour money into these videos, make them, I guess, slightly more produced.
What were you pouring the money into?
The prizes.
Oh,
so the prize wheel, yeah. So before then, I was going to drive-thrus and playing like Incoherent. So what does this card say? Star. Here's a $5 tip. Say, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, it wasn't really like super well put together videos. It was just videos. And I was making $200 here, $300 here. Enough money to keep me going, but like not an absurd amount of money.
Sure.
It wasn't until that July that I bought the prize wheel that I made like a lot of money from them. Sure. And then from there, they worked with me until August, and then I was kicked out the program.
Okay, so you got cut off from the What Do You Meme because you made way too much money, which I think is hilarious. Like I interviewed this dude, Greg Lutzka. He's a pro skateboarder from Wisconsin, and he had a deal with K-Swiss years ago that they matched any of his earnings for like any prize money, and he won this contest called the Maloof Money Cup, and it was like the most any contest had ever paid out, and it was like, I don't know, $100,000+ or whatever. And because of his contract, they had to match it.
Yeah.
They changed the rules because of him after that one contest because they were like, this is way too much. Okay, but still, so you made, like you said, like $50K or whatever that month. How long was it before you made $50K again from brand deals? It must have taken a while to build that back up because that's a lot to be making.
Yeah, so what happened was once college started, I was computer science at UGA, and something important to add was whenever I got to college, it was doing like 2020, like I don't know if I could say COVID.
Yeah, you can say COVID. You were wearing your Georgia Bulldogs mask through all the content.
Yeah, it was during
and then
COVID.
asking people, would you rate me? And I'm like, they can't see your face in the content, dude.
But yeah, it was during COVID, and during COVID, like all our classes were online. We were all sitting in our dorms. Like there was not that much like interaction, and with school being fully online and at home, I was spending a lot of time like just doing school because, like I said, growing up in an African household, school is like the second most important thing. So I was trying to make sure my grades were good, still trying to make sure I was posting, and there was like super little like social interaction. So like it wasn't like there was cool things to do like on the side while being in college. So a lot of my time was just between school and then finding ways to record. So recording was like a second priority. It wasn't my main focus those first few months at school. And I would say for like a full year after that, I was just focused on school. So I was making enough money on social media to keep me going, but I didn't have any crazy months for, I want to say until first semester, sophomore year. I was chilling in my dorm one day. I had like 700,000 followers on TikTok at the time, laying in bed. It was like 12 a.m. I remember this night very super vividly. One of my friends from high school, he was the smallest creator to leave out of our graduating class. We had a lot of creators in my high school. He was on the Forbes 30 under 30 list for creators.
Whoa.
And I was like, dude, what am I doing? I have 700,000 followers. I have all this potential, and I'm just not even leveraging it at all. I'm not pushing this at all. I could do so much more. And from that moment on, I was like, okay, I need to take this seriously. So for the next 2 weeks, we had 2 weeks until winter break. Those 2 weeks, we were outside recording every single day. My camera guy was super locked in. I was locked in. We went out. We filmed every single day. We were posting. And I went from 700,000 followers to 1 million followers in that 2 weeks.
Whoa.
We hit 1 million followers on TikTok. And then coming back from the break, we started a press run. So I wanted to get verified because verification meant something back then. So we got interviewed by 11 Alive, then the Wall Street Journal, then a few other places. So we had the interviews done.
How did you get a hold of them for the interviews? Did you just like pitch them a media kit, or like what did you do?
My mom used to work in media, so we had a few connects. So the AJC, Atlanta Journal-Constitution article caught, I guess, waves with the Wall Street Journal. They reached out, bam, and then it kind of built up. Like once you have that momentum going, like one person sees it, they catch that story. Now they want to report it, and it kind of went up from there.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, honestly, one time I just was sitting in bed and I was like, and not with Wall Street Journal. And this was even, I think maybe before the show, I don't remember, but I wanted to get something out there. Right. Mm-hmm. So I just looked up like, what are all the news publications in the Chippewa Valley, like in the immediate area? And I sent emails to like 5, and within 48 hours, I had news stories on 4 of them. And it was simply because no one was really like reaching out and pitching their story. I know everyone thinks that you're going to get discovered by all these people when really all you have to do is like chirp at them. Hey, I'm doing something cool. And if you catch them at the right moment, a lot of times they're like, cool, we were looking for a story anyways. You just made it really easy for me. And another little pro tip for anybody, if you want to get like on a newspaper or something, have a good visual. If you can provide a visual, like a good quality photo that they can use for the headline, that's how I got on the front page of the newspaper. And the people told me with the newspaper, like, that is the reason. Because if the story is good, but there isn't a good photo that can sit on there, like, we can't ever have it be a cover story. So if you ever want a cover story, that's how you do it. So anyway, so you were in all of those. What kind of happened from there? Were you like getting a bunch of brand deals kind of immediately from that?
No. So going back to what you were saying, advice for you guys, closed mouths don't get fed. If you guys have something, you have to ask for it and pursue it. That outreach, a lot of people don't reach out, and that's why they don't get the opportunities they want. So yeah, whenever you're saying that, I was like, that's really good advice for anyone watching this.
Dude, one thing I took from Wyatt, sorry to cut you off. Wyatt told me one time, because I asked him, because he's so good at like working brand deals and stuff, which again, something in the water with that high school. Dude, there's 3 people, Wyatt, Grace Ryder, who I think graduated with him from Chippewa Falls High School, which is this tiny little school. She's out in New York City and crushing it. Mm. And then our mutual friend, Jaren's 1 year younger than them and also went to Chippewa, and he's also a huge content creator. What in the world? But Wyatt told me when I was asking him about it, he was like, a brand didn't say no to you until they've said no to you. And I was like, well, And he's like, no, no, no. If you've reached out and they didn't respond, or if you've reached out and they were just like wishy-washy about whatever, it's not a no unless they actually said no. And once I like had that in my mind, that's helped me with a lot of brands and made me realize it's nothing to do with me. It's literally about timing on things. And a lot of times when you reach out and you think they're saying no, it just means right now isn't when we need it. But that doesn't mean they won't need you or won't want to work with you literally 2 weeks from now. Unless they've directly said no, it doesn't mean stop contacting us. We don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can continue. So you were in all those news stories, and then what happened from there?
Yeah. So I like planning my life in stages, and I took that same approach with content. So the first stage was hitting that million. Then from there was the press, because the press would lead to verification. And once I'm verified, I had extra authenticity, stood out from other creators in my niche, then I could charge more, you know? And even followers, like whenever you're scrolling on TikTok, if you see someone who's verified, you're more likely to watch the video because you think they have some sort of value to provide since they're verified, you know?
Yeah.
That was before people were buying verifications. But
Yeah.
it just gave me an extra sense of credibility.
Yeah.
So we had the press run. Then from there, I had a view run. Like I just was dialed in on getting the most views possible so that whenever that verification would hit, I had views, I had 1 million followers, and I was verified. So now I could start charging more for brand deals.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until January, February, March, like April, that the verification on TikTok hit. And then April I started YouTube. YouTube is a crazy story. In 8 months, I went from 84 subs to 1 million subs on YouTube. Just bed ran YouTube.
Whoa.
So
You're
around,
posting the same content that you were on TikTok already?
yeah. So this is like when YouTube Shorts was out for a little bit. Like it wasn't brand new, but it was still relatively new. I scheduled all my old videos onto YouTube Shorts, and I had like 2 going up every single day. And I hit 100K in like 3 weeks, then 200K like a week after that. In 8 months, I went to 1 million subs. So around May is when the brand deals started coming in now. Since I was filming around college campuses, a lot of them were like back to school campaigns, like getting ready for school coming back in August, which is kind of crazy that they're shooting out in April, but they're casting creators, trying to see who's available, whatever.
Yeah.
So now I was focused on making the most amount of money possible. So I became decently good at negotiating deals, seeing which ones were right for me, for my audience, my platform. And from April until June, we were just running brand deals.
Oh my God.
And that was that period of time. So then I was like, I had set a goal. If I could make 3 times what I would have been making with my postgraduate income, like with my degree as a CS, I guess, computer science person working somewhere.
Sure.
A programmer for some company, you know? Then I would take a gap semester and fully pursue social media. If everything works, then I'll keep pushing it. If not, then I go back to school and only focus on school.
Sure.
So I hit that goal by June. And July, I told my parents, hey, I'm taking a gap semester. And then that's when Wyatt and I went on that SEC tour.
Whoa.
All around those places. But honestly, that was the lowest point of my social media career. So after I dropped out, my views dropped drastically. We're touring all these schools, sleeping in the car, eating like just trash food every single day because we're on the road, you know?
Yeah.
Showering in gyms, and not a single video hit over 10,000 views from August all the way until end of October when it came back.
Why? Any idea? I mean, TikTok's definitely fickle, but
There's periods where my views are really high and then sometimes they're low. And that was just one of those places where I was posting almost every single day. We're out there grinding and none of my views were hitting. Like it was really bad. So I was like, dang, like we got back and I was like, I'm going to have to go home and tell my parents this didn't work out. I dropped out and it didn't work out. I was running out of money. Like I hit a point where like, I was like, I don't even have enough money to go back to school.
sure.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to push just a little bit longer. And then I started doing the What Do You Rate Yourself videos in November.
What would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
Myself?
Yourself.
Like a 9.
A 9? Do you think others would agree?
I mean, if they don't, them.
What would you rate her on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, man, I'd give her an 8.
And everything went up from there. I hit like 80 million views on TikTok in November. Then 190 million views on TikTok in December. My YouTube, no, 200, it was 200 something million views in December. YouTube, I hit 190 million views in December.
Yeah.
So that month across all platforms, I hit just under 500 million views.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, we're back. And then we went on the next tour, which was to the West Coast. So now I was traveling. I had a camera guy with me. Wyatt had him and his team. And that was the craziest growth period because now, like I said, Wyatt helped me implement systems in the business. So I started like tracking my analytics and became super, super like obsessed with conversion. I was watching a lot of YouTube. Like before I started making content, like I told you, I was super introverted.
Yeah.
So I used to watch YouTubers who would do a lot of public interactions, like Big Doss TV, Steven Shapiro. That was epic. And every single time I watch YouTubers' videos, I always like and subscribe, like and subscribe. But I never do it. Why? There's no incentive for me. Like, what do I gain from subscribing to you? You know?
Yeah.
What do I gain from liking the video? Like, it helps you, but it doesn't help me. And that might be a messed up mindset, but that's how people think, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So I was like, what can I do to make people want to follow? So I had this one series that I was testing at the time. It was, would you rather have $5 or spin on my wheel? I'd walk up to someone and be like, would you take this $5 or would you spin my wheel? And those videos were killing it. Like one of them got like 14 million views. The other one would get like 10 million views. Like they were back to back, like crazy views.
Yeah.
So in the middle of one of them, I was like, if you're currently following me, you get a second spin on my wheel.
You won nothing. If you follow me, you get an extra spin right here. All right, he is following.
The video got like 10 million views, got like 1.5 million likes, and I gained 500,000 followers.
Whoa.
Why? Because people saw that I was traveling from place to place, and on the off chance that they ever ran into me, they get a second spin and potentially win $100 and AirPods or win whatever else. You know, like there was an incentive now for them to follow me. So we started milking that. Every single video, if you're following me, you get a second spin. If you're following me, you get whatever. Those call to actions were thrown in the videos. And I went from 1 million followers on TikTok to right around 4 million in like a 2-month period. Every single day, I was getting like over 100,000 followers, like crazy. And then that's the time I started posting on Instagram too. So my Instagram went from like 50,000 followers to 500,000 followers in that same period of time.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude, I've seen Wyatt grow like that. I know that he does that as well. So I feel like he must have pulled that from you, which finding things that work from your friends and just taking from them and obviously crediting them or whatever. But like, if you can share resources and share knowledge, that is definitely one of the better ways to grow. But I remember seeing Wyatt, I think I interviewed him, and within a month and a half, he had grown by like 200,000 followers or something on Instagram. And I'm like, dog, I'm sitting here at 20. I'm blowing it. You've gotten to travel for a lot of things. What's your favorite place that you've gotten to travel to for like a sponsor? Did you go to like Coachella and go backstage with people or anything like that?
I would say the coolest brand deal I've done was F1 with Lenovo. So,
dude, I saw the picture of you with the helmet. Yeah. What in the world?
So I got to do a hot lap around the track, which is super, super cool. And then we were in the paddock.
It?
No. I didn't get to drive it.
Oh, okay.
They drove me.
Okay.
It was better that they drove. They're actually professional drivers.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in a crazy car. Like some people got to get in McLarens. I was in a Alfa Romeo. Like it was a 4-seater car. I think he competes with like the BMW M3.
Okay.
But he was whipping that car around the track. It did not feel like a 4-seater car going around there. Like it was crazy. Then from there, we were in the paddock club. So like it was just really cool, good food, like crazy view. And we were just able to watch it. And I love cars. So that was just super, super crazy. Besides that, I've been to a few festivals with some other sponsors. Those are really cool. But I would say F1 was the craziest.
So why did they hire you for that? I mean, obviously, besides having numbers, because your content, like the content that fits for you would be being backstage at a music festival, because then you're just walking up to people or whatever. Why did they reach out to you for that?
So I think the cool thing about my content, doing street interviews is we have a lot of versatility. Like I could work with a music festival one day and then Grammarly the next day. I could work with, F1 and do interviews there. And we could tailor those interviews to do anything. We could do tech interviews. We could do lifestyle interviews. We could do educational interviews, you know? Like it's so broad, like our space, that we work with, like we're able to work with almost any company.
Yeah.
And then my content's also super brand safe. So I'm not really a brand risk for companies because we bleep out cursing. We're not doing anything crazy. Like it's just songs, trivia, challenge is like pretty brand safe.
Yeah, well, and you were able to like crack the code and find something that's like, oh, this is replicable. I can do this same general thing repeatedly. And I mean, I was watching one time after interviewing Wyatt where I was watching all the clips and I'm like, now that I'm tuned in, I'm like, I can see where that one's sponsored and this one's sponsored and this one's sponsored and this one's sponsored, but it doesn't feel like sponsored content really either. It's just like the way that he is able to mix it in. And I'm sure it's similar with you. When you're approaching people on the street, because I feel like you're starting to see more and more content creators do it because it's great, you know, but it is uncomfortable to like approach somebody randomly on the street. So when you first started doing that, what was your experience like going up to people? Were you really fumbling your words? How did you pick out which people you wanted to approach? Like, how did that go? Because now I'm sure you're just confident and can talk to anyone. But
yeah, so I'm not going to lie. The first few times are super rough. Like I told you, I started doing these interviews as a way to get myself out of my comfort zone from being in a place where I couldn't talk to people.
Yeah.
So I was like shaking my boots every single time I do an interview. I was standing there so comfortably. So initially I was leveraging that awkwardness to make my videos. So I'd be like making everyone feel uncomfortable. Then the video would just be funny, you know?
Rate the fit.
Yours?
Yeah.
Honestly, a 20. You look really nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
sure.
Like it just making it awkward. But over time I was like, okay. As soon as the camera turns on, it's like an alter ego. Like I'm not scared of walking up to people. I'm not scared of talking to people. It's kind of like fake to me.
Yeah.
Like I see a person over there, if their head's down walking on their phone, they probably don't want to be approached. Let them go. If someone has a lot of energy, they're happy. It's a group of like maybe 2 to 3 people max. Bam, stop them. They're perfect. Like they're going to have great energy in the videos. They're excited. Let's put them in a fun video, you know, get them in a cool trivia video, get them spin the wheel. They're going to have energy. So over time through like just people watching and learning people's body language, it becomes almost second nature to know who wants to be in a video and what type of energy to replicate to make that video even better.
How many videos do you end up throwing away? Like you do the content with them, but they just like aren't as, the video is just not as good as you want because they didn't have the energy or whatever. Because I would feel guilty being like, they're expecting to see this video come on, but it just didn't work.
Initially, it was like half of the videos just weren't posted because they weren't good.
Were you getting a lot of DMs from those people being like, what in the world?
No.
No?
If anything, it was people going like, yo, can you take down that video?
Oh.
But over time, it became a lot smaller. I think now maybe 1 in 7 videos doesn't get posted.
Sure.
Just because you get good at asking the questions. You get good at making sure the angles are right. Your camera knows what they're doing. And then even with the participants, you know who has energy or not. Like every now and then you might miss, like you might think someone has good energy and then they answer terribly and now you can't choose that clip. But as a whole, I use almost all the clips, or at least the majority of the clips which I record.
So what was that experience like the first time someone did reach out and said, hey, take that down?
I took it down.
And that was it? You were just like, hey, sorry, no big deal, I'll take it down?
Obviously, it's frustrating as a creator because we're going out there, we're recording. So that's time spent going out there to record the video, paying someone to edit the video. So that's money being spent into editing the video. Then we're posting that video. So we're, especially if the video is getting traction. Imagine a video hits like 1 million views overnight. Then the next morning, someone's like, take it down.
Yeah.
Now it's taking away from your portfolio. Like brands are reaching out. They're looking at your count. You have a video with 1 million views and now it's gone. Now your average is lower. Like your average view count's lower. So it's frustrating. It's annoying. But at the same time, you know, if I didn't have those people explicitly sign a consent form to post a video, then, I mean,
because you're not
I
having
would
people
take it
sign
down.
anything, right?
But technically, recording in public places, if they're in the video and they're over 18, then they don't have a right to tell you to take it down. Like you're recording in a public place, so
Sure.
it's not like they could sue you. So
Have you ever had any really uncomfortable conversations like on the street where people approach you? Because you're going places where people are like sometimes pretty inebriated. Like I would imagine there's got to be some altercations that happen periodically, regardless of like how mellow you are.
yeah.
Have you ever had to deal with that?
I had this, it was one Halloween, this one girl handcuffed herself to me and she would not like let go. So I was doing interviews with my hand out as screen like this. It was really annoying. But like, it was also like, I couldn't do anything about it. Like she just wouldn't unlock the handcuffs.
Sure.
So if it was an awkward position because it's not like you could be like, yo, take this off, do anything. Cause now now like you're touching her. Now it could be like assault, like
How did you get out of it then? She eventually gave up?
eventually like her friends were like, yo, this is weird. Like, let's go.
Sure.
But like, it was just super uncomfortable. I did not want to be in that position at all.
Of all the times that you've gone out, I assume you get a lot of clips in one go most of the time these days. But I've seen, if you just scroll through, there's hundreds of videos and you'll be out for Halloween or you'll be out wherever and you'll do this all over the country. Like you said, you were with Wyatt. If you had to pick one night that was the most memorable of going out recording, which one is it? And tell me the story behind it.
The most memorable night recording. I wouldn't say night. I would say day.
Okay.
So it was whenever we were in California, on the West Coast tour, and we went to UCLA. So that's whenever I had the $5 or spin on the wheel video series, and I just remember like recording these 2 videos at UCLA. We posted them, and the next day, I was gaining like 100, 200,000 followers per day for like a week straight out after that. Like, I just remember every morning waking up, 1.4 million followers, 1.6 million followers, like 1.7 million followers. Like, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, going out knowing that every video I recorded during that period of time was gonna hit. Like, I knew every single one of those videos was gonna hit during that period of time, and I knew every single one of them was gonna gain me anywhere from 100 to 300,000 followers. It was just a crazy, crazy period of time.
So how do you not get stressed out about a video not doing well at this point? Are you just like so unfazed by the fact that social media comes in waves that you're like, well, some videos are bound to just like not do good? Because sometimes you catch a wave like that, but then you catch the opposite where just like nothing really goes for like a while.
Well, that was following like the period of time where I went like 3-4 months with no views, like I told you earlier. Yeah. So we had that period of time where I was getting no views, losing followers, losing money, and then I got views, and then I got followers. So social media is ways. Like, even right now, I'm in a place where I'm recording a lot of videos that I think are really good, and they're performing decently on Instagram, but for whatever reason, like my TikTok isn't hitting,
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where you get tested as a creator, and I feel like that's where you get tested as a person as a whole. Like, whenever things are down, I feel like that's whenever you're able to see like whether you're pushing through because of pure willpower, like you care about what you're doing, or because things were just working, I feel like this is where a lot of creators say they're getting burnt out because they're posting, they're not seeing what they want, and it's frustrating, and then they give up.
Yeah.
And then they go work a regular job, and they're done with being creators, I feel like the people who really make it, because we've been doing this for 5 years now, that's pretty long for a creator,
Yeah.
I feel like the only reason I've been able to stay in the game for so long is because you just kind of have to accept those periods of time where views are low and you keep posting. Because if you keep maintaining post consistency, if you keep making sure that the quality you're uploading at stays good, eventually you're going to get out of that slump and then go back up.
Yeah.
But if you give up down here, you're never going to see yourself rise back up again,
Yeah. No, I mean, it really is like the only actual way to fail is by giving up on something.
Yeah.
Because I'll have the same thing. I'll interview somebody that I'm like, this episode's going to crush. And then I'll interview somebody else where I'm like, I don't know if that one went that well. And the one that I didn't think went that well is the one that crushes. And the one that I expected to do well doesn't, but overall, if you just keep going on it, you'll have random ones take off whenever. And one thing I've noticed too, that's been really helpful is nowadays with social media, yes, there's the initial wave when a video hits, but so many things like catch second and third wins later on. Like I have a clip on YouTube that consistently is in my top 10 most viewed clips from 2 years ago. And it's just like been coasting doing that for like a year straight now. And the video had like no views hardly at all when it started, but now it's just been consistently going. And more in the like catalog, so to speak, are like getting views that way. So I try not to think about too heavily, like whether or not, this one worked or whatever. How did you get your friends to want to film with you at first? Were you actually paying them like a solid amount of money? Have you been with like the same people kind of forever? Because clearly you would be the one who's making the, primary income from doing it, not the person who's doing the like filming the video.
Yeah. Initially in college, it was just my friends. So I'd take them out to grab some food or whatever after class, and then they'd record for me. But now, my, I guess, team, they're all paid. So I have an editor, and a videographer, and they both like paid.
Yeah.
So they come out with me because it's a job.
Sure. Yeah. How did you find those people though? Because a lot of times people are just finding their friends. But I mean, I know you started making money relatively quickly through that one campaign, but it's hard to pay people, especially your personal friends. You're getting like them involved in business, and when you're making more money than they are, but you're working on the same things, it just like creates a difficult dynamic. For me, that would be hard to navigate with people.
Yeah. From super early on, I saw social media almost as like a business, So I'm the owner of the business. I'm the one who's taking all the inherent risk,
Sure.
If everything else fails, like I'm the one who's losing everything. So, with, I guess, my employees, I never really hired my friends, like not my direct friends. It would be, people who I just happened to run into. And I would say the editor position is the hardest one to fill. I don't know any creator who has been able to maintain a good editor for a long period of time. I feel like anytime I talk to any of my creator friends, it's like, dang, my editor did this, my editor did that. I'm searching for a new editor. Like we're on that same place of constantly trying to find an editor. If anyone's good at building AI apps, build an AI editor for creators. That's actually good. You're going to make a lot of money.
Oh my God.
I would pay for that. But editors are the hardest role to fulfill. So we're constantly going through new editors. I have a good editor now. Okay. I have an okay editor right now. They're getting the job done. So let's hope that things keep getting better with him. But my camera guy was someone who I ran into. He did content too. And initially he started filming for me for free just so that he could learn like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I just paid him to quit his job. Like I matched how much he was getting paid for his job and was like, okay, now you're recording for me full time. And he was like, bet. And he's honestly one of the best employees I've ever had. Like anytime I need him, he's there. He's willing to learn. He takes criticism really well. So I see him being here for a long time. But the editor role, that's a little wild.
What about like management? How did you learn how to deal with contracts and all that? And did you, I guess during it, I would imagine that you learn from contracts because you have a problem come up with a contract and then you have to kind of navigate it. How did you learn from that? Were there any big mistakes that you made that you learned anything from?
Yeah, it was just getting played by companies. So like one of my first sponsors, like them setting a limit and then kicking me out of the program and that, like making changes like very last minute whenever we already signed a very clear contract, I got screwed over a little bit, in the past, and I was like, okay, learning lesson. And moving forward, I'm just not going to do that same thing. Or moving forward, I'm going to make sure like there's an actual agreement set in place instead of just it being an email, yo, do this, whatever. Because when TikTok first came out, a lot of these companies didn't have set in stone contracts. It was just kind of like your email, you agree, it's all word of mouth, I guess.
Yeah.
So now a lot of the companies do have contracts. There's ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, are there any red flags in this agreement? Learning to get paid for your usage and exclusivity. Those are two important things that a lot of creators don't add into, I guess, the variables for their rates. So
explain that. Yeah. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah. So as a creator, like let's say a brand reaches out to me, this is exactly how I'd break it down. First, I would never set the first number. I usually ask them like, what's your budget for this campaign? Or I don't have a set in stone budget or rate. It depends on the deliverables. So they'd list out all the deliverables. So let's say they want one post on TikTok, one post on Instagram. Those are syndicated. So it's just one video reposted from TikTok to Instagram. And then they want a month of exclusivity and a month of usage. Exclusivity means I can't work with any other brand in that space. And usage means they're probably going to put paid behind it and push it out.
Okay.
So let's say I'm a creator with 100,000 followers. My rate is $3,000 for a post on TikTok syndicated to Instagram. With usage and exclusivity for a month, I'd probably charge an extra like $500. So it would be at like $3,500. A lot of creators miss out on the exclusivity and don't charge that because they don't know what it means. And now another brand comes up in the same space and you're missing out on that deal because you already had this first deal. Now you lost money, Yeah. So that's why it's important to charge for exclusivity, and then usage, it's just another place you could get money.
So how do people know how much they even should realistically charge? Because I've talked to Wyatt about this at length, and he obviously learned some stuff from you, and again, you guys learned from each other. But most people really don't know, because you'll contact a brand and I'll say, hey, I want to get paid X for this. We'll just say an easy number of like $1,000 for this thing. And some brands will be like, I'll pay you $5,000 for that thing. And they'll feel good about it because it's fair. And then other brands will be like 500's too much. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like so many brands out there, there just really isn't like a set amount of like that brands have the expectation of, for this many views, I should be paying this amount. How do people know what they should charge for that?
I think as a creator, honestly, being friends with people in the same industry as you is the best thing you could do. So I was fortunate that I met Wyatt. Wyatt's cool, and me and him, like, we could talk. Like, we work with the same brands at the end of the day. Like, as long as we're not looking at each other as competition.
Right.
Let's say this one brand hits me up, right? Same brand hits him up. If I say $15,000 and Wyatt says $10,000 and they agree to my $15,000, Wyatt just lost out on $5,000.
Yeah.
And then now the next time the brand comes, they're going to want to be at $10,000 because they already got a creator in the same space with this, roughly the same following for $10,000.
Sure.
So now we're both losing out on money because we're not communicating. But if we both say $15,000, then we're going to both keep it up here.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the problem, right? Is we don't have like unions with everybody in it, just like saying, this is how much this brand paid me, you know, and they're always discouraged from like, you know, the companies discourage you from talking about it. So not everybody just has people that they can say, hey, we're both working for this. And a lot of times people who are earlier on too, they have no idea what something, you know, what something should charge. So like, as an example, if I were to have this coffee cup here and I wanted to sell it to a brand and say, this episode is going to get, again, we'll just pick easy numbers. This episode is going to get 10,000 views, and content from short form is going to get 100,000 views from like clicks or from clips across TikTok, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. How much should I charge for somebody's brand to be on this coffee cup that is going to get 10,000 views on a full length episode and 100,000 views from short form content? What would be an appropriate number?
I think it really depends on the niche. So I know finance creators make a lot more than, let's say, street interview creators.
Yeah.
So they could charge a lot more than us. I know lifestyle is one of the most paying niches for girl creators, but for guys, it doesn't pay as well because women are more likely to buy products than men, you know?
Sure.
So it really depends on which niche you're in. But I feel like as creators, if you could form a community and find ways to talk, then you could find how much brands are paying other creators in the same space as you with the same following as you, and now you have a better idea of what to charge.
How do you find that though? It's not like you're just going to DM, like cold DM people and say, hey, Leon, I saw you're working with this brand, how much they pay you? Because that would be, you know what I mean?
I think you should be close with people who are in the same space as you.
Sure.
Not just from, I guess, this financial stance, but even like ideas. So like, let's say I figure something out that's working and it's really going well for me, you know? I could share it with my friend who's in the same space as me. They implement it. Now we're both up, you know?
Yeah.
As long as you're seeing them as someone to build up with instead of competition, then your momentum becomes their momentum. And then something that you figure out could push you forward too. So now you guys are pushing each other forward. But if you're seeing yourself as indirect competition with the people in your niche, then you're, for lack of words, building by yourself. And if you want to go fast, you know the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I feel like that goes really well with content creation. I feel like when you're working as a team, you have so many smart people. I mean, at the end of the day, to be doing what you're doing at your level, let's say this podcast, right? It takes a lot, you know, like there's a lot of lessons you've learned. Now imagine multiplying those lessons by 3 people. Like Mr. Beast said in this one video, before his initial blow up, he had a group of creators who were as driven as him, like-minded, and all they would do all day is just be on calls, breaking down analytics, looking at video performance, really understanding what's working and why. And they were all looking at it from different angles. And what did that do? That pushed them all forward, because one thing that Mr. Beast might have overlooked, someone else might have noticed. One thing that someone else might have learned is working was shared. And now imagine 10 new discoveries all at the same time from 3 different people versus one new thing, you know?
Yeah.
You're going to grow so much faster. You're going to know how to price yourself a lot better. You're going to know, you're just going to learn so much faster.
Yeah, I think people just got to get out of this like scarcity mindset of like there's a pie and everybody like if you get a bigger slice of it, I'm not getting it. Because really, especially in something like content creation, the pie is constantly growing because every brand is slowly figuring out that that's where all their marketing budget should be going to. So there's just more that's available constantly. And again, I guess the way I word it is like my friend's shine doesn't take away from my shine. I just get like a little bit of extra because I'm next to them. You know what I'm saying? I get a little bit of that ambient light. Okay, let's get to
summarize everything I said in a lot better way. But yeah.
So I know that you do some coaching and stuff. So let's do a quick little exercise. If you're going to give somebody a 7-day challenge, they're going to start from literally nothing, but they have an idea. What is going to be in their 7-day challenge that they should do?
I would spend the first day just writing down goals, because people have ideas, but if they're not written down, if they're not set in stone, then they're just dreams. You know, like everyone wants to be a creator, everyone wants to have a Lamborghini, but like
I don't want a Lambo.
Okay. What's your dream?
I know what you mean. What is it? My dream car? I want to buy a minivan.
Okay. Some people want minivans, you know, but not everyone has a minivan. Why? Because you don't have a clear path to getting that minivan, and that's where I feel like writing down, that's what it does for you. It gives you a path. So you have the goal, and then now you need stepping stones to get to that goal. So let's say you want to become a creator, you want to reach 100,000 followers. First, you need to write down your overall goals, because I feel like that's what people have. You know, like I want to have 100,000 followers. I want to be working with these people. I want to work with these brands. Cool. So first, choose your niche. Where do you want to be? What type of content do you want to make? And then come down with a film idea. So write down your concepts, your film schedule, where you're going to record. Are you going to be recording in your home, like podcast style videos, or are you going to be out in college campuses? So which colleges are you going to be recording at? Okay. How do you edit these videos? So you need to learn which software you're going to be using, what equipment you need, just everything you need to get started. You need to have it written down. Second day, I would go out and let's say you want to do man on the street interviews. Cool. Once you have all the equipment you need, go out to a place and test it out. Do you want to record during the day, at night? What are you most comfortable with? Get a vibe for what you want to do. Now, the third day, now you could actually go out and start implementing. The rest of those days, third, fourth, fifth, I'll just record, and then practice editing until you have a stockpile of videos. Once you have like around 7 videos stockpiled ready to go, then on that 7th day, I'd start posting and maintain post consistency. So I post 1 video a day, every single day, and then just keep it going from there.
Yeah.
Try not skipping a day.
Yeah, I think like having a landing strip in front of you or however you want to word it makes a huge difference, because I did that with the show. With the first 10 episodes, I recorded a whole 10 episode season. This was 6.5 years ago, where each guest was from a different industry, edited the whole thing, and then gave myself a month to market and promote it. And during that time frame, as I'm like editing episode 7, I'm like, oh my God, I should have been doing this on all of them. Let me go back and fix all of these things. And that way, when you like put out your first thing, not that there's an expectation for it to be perfect, but the amount of things that you learn through that first little bit is going to make your first thing that you put out way, way, way better than otherwise. Yeah. Plus, that was how I got a hold of the radio station. Like this came on the radio because I gave myself a little bit of time and like put in place something like that.
Yeah, I would also add, you shouldn't try coming up with original concepts if you're just starting to post. I would look at bigger creators in your niche and really break down what they're doing. What times are they posting? What type of videos are they making? What video length is working? Like you could break down like everything that they spent years learning and understanding and use that as a starting point for you. So now your focus is understanding why it's working instead of what's working. That's going to save you a lot of time initially. Then now you could start spinning it off, making your own videos once you understand what's working and why.
Yeah. I don't think there's any shame in copying somebody's work as long as you're not pretending that you're not. You know, like I was watching Stephen Colbert the other day because I interviewed Charlie Barons and he talked about Stephen Colbert, right? So I was just like looking him up and I saw that he used to do a thing called the Colbert Questionnaire. And I was like, dude, I should literally take those exact questions and just shout them out, but then do that. Cause I feel like that would be a fun way to incorporate it into the interview. And then I was hoping to maybe get it ready for this one, but me and you connected on Instagram yesterday. So it didn't happen yet, but that might be coming. Colbert Questionnaire, except on the Passion Pod. So we'll see. When did you start the coaching side of things? I know I'm just like asking for like free coaching advice right now and not paying you. So one of the benefits of the show, but when did you kind of start doing coaching stuff? Cause you have like a whole brand and everything around it.
Yeah, so coaching, I started doing coaching around 2 years ago, end of 2023. So the first creator I worked with was one of my friends, actually. We went to high school together. He used to drive me to school. We've been friends since middle school. He came up to me and he was honestly one of the only people from my hometown who celebrated any of the success I had. So I bought my Tesla and he came out. He was super excited for me. And we're sitting there talking and he was like, I hate what I'm doing at school. I hate all of it. Like, I don't want to do this. So I was like, I could put you on social media. So he came out with me. I showed him how I recorded my videos, sat down with him, taught him how to edit. And I worked with him for like a month, just showing him literally everything I was doing. And then he started going out. He started recording. He took everything that I had taught him and he just implemented it. Like, I didn't have to follow up with him going like, yo, go out, go record, do this. Like, he just had that drive in him and he took everything. Like, every single time I sat down with him, he was taking notes. He was like putting everything into action. And now he has over 1 million followers on TikTok. He's had 6-figure months. Like, he's killing it.
Wow.
So from him, there was this one girl who I worked with. Blowing up a girl is so much easier than blowing up a guy, by the way.
Yeah.
So she was pretty, good
helps.
energy. Like, like, I knew she was going to blow up. She came down. We talked. She told me her goals. And she had like 13,000 followers at the time. We spent a month just looking at other creators in the industry, her telling me like which ones she liked, which ones she didn't, and for what reasons. And I got an understanding of where she wanted to be. So once I knew where she wanted to be, it was just writing up that roadmap. Okay, these are the steps we have to take to get you to that point you want to be at. And we planned some content, like I said earlier, like with the 7-day thing. We planned content for like 1 or 2 weeks for her. So it was having that backlog of videos so that if anything happened, because it was around the holiday season, she could keep posting, like, because those first 2-3 weeks as a creator either like make or break whether you're going to take off, because that's where you're building your habits. You know, if you start skipping days, then it's going to keep going on. And platforms really care about consistency too, especially at the beginning. So if you're posting consistently every single day during that first period of like small period of time, then you have a way bigger likelihood of your account taking off.
So why did you want to do coaching though? Because you're at this point where your brand deals are already paying you more than what you need to be making. And these creators, I know the one was your friend, they can't pay you what your time is worth to a brand for making content. Those dollars aren't the thing. What's that?
I love problem solving. Like, that's what's fun for me. So I wasn't charging these people anything initially. Right. Like, this was just fun for me. But with that girl, we started implementing things in December. She had 17,000 followers at the time. And in 3 months, she hit 300,000 followers on Instagram. So from 17,000 to 300,000 in 3 months. 4th month, she was at 400,000. Like,
so I got to start sending in the group chat now that I have your cell phone number, all of the problems I need solved. So that way this show can be bigger than stupid Joe Rogan in the next 6 months.
I don't know if I could take Joe Rogan's sass. He's a goat. But yeah, so from there, I realized, okay, working with creators is cool, but that's not what I really cared about. It was really the experience, learning how to sit down with someone, understanding their goals, understanding where they want to be, and then coming up with a game plan and executing. So now I do business consulting. I work with businesses, sit down with them. They tell me their goals, where they want to be, and we use organic content to generate leads for them or whatever their goals are.
And that's primarily just like laying out strategy, like giving them the tools of this is what to do, but not holding their hand too much.
Yeah. So a lot of these companies have in-house media teams. So we're not coming in to replace their teams. We're coming in to train them. So we're there for like 6 months. We understand where they are, what's working, what's not. We break it down for them. And then we come up with a content plan for them and help them execute. So teach them how to record those videos, teach them how to edit them. We put, systems in place for them. So we create SOPs for the recording, SOPs for the editing, show them how to track their analytics, show them like basically everything they need to do to become successful creators. Because business owners are really good at understanding the numbers behind the business, you know, understanding how to train their employees to sell if it's like a dealership or whatever, but they don't understand how to make viral content. So we're going in and teaching them how to make viral content, and not just viral videos, but repeatable viral videos.
Yeah, like actually having a strategy. So exactly. I guess at this point, because now you are doing a lot, and you mentioned to me off mic something about an app that's coming, so I want to hear that too. But how is your time kind of split up right now? Like, you're flying to Minnesota to hang out with Wyatt. but you're not making content right this moment. You're just doing a podcast with little old me. But on your regular day, like how much time is going into these coaching? How much time is pitching to companies or reaching out to them? How much time is training people? How is your time really split?
Yeah. So the agency which I had where we're helping creators scale up, that's gone. That was replaced with consulting. That was a stepping stone for me to get into consulting.
Okay.
So we have the business consulting. I would say that takes about like 20% of my week.
Who's we?
My business partner and I.
So just the two of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody actually hires you for that, they can expect to talk to you.
Yeah. I'm in person because these are like high ticket clients.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They're paying a decent amount, but we're going in and I'm going to be up there. I'm working with them directly. Then from there, I have my main social media. I would say that takes up, like I saw, like 40% of my time, whether it's planning, recording, making sure my editors are doing what he's supposed to be doing. And then I have a side account. So it's my car account. That's something I do for fun, but it's also a funnel for our revamped agency. So we have a free program called Limitless Creator Academy where I recorded a bunch of videos. It was supposed to be paid. It was supposed to be a paid program, but I realized like as a creator who's making money from their personal social media, I can't have a paid course. Paid courses have bad reps. The info space has, it's kind of like a gray area, you know?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to put free content out there. So we have Limitless Creator Academy, which is a free course teaching everyone everything they need to learn about social media from like video, like conception to execution and then monetizing, like everything. So that's all laid out and the car account funnels people to that place. And from there, we're building an app for creators. That's my actual product.
Okay.
So the app, it's called Creator Pal. And it honestly came to me so randomly. Like I was sitting down one day and I wanted to make an email response notifier. So like, let's say an email comes in to my inbox from a company. I wanted it to send it to my phone. Let me know what email came in and then have it negotiate those deals for me. So I built out a simple tool that does that. Like, let's say Nike reached out to me, Nike times Leon, whatever. It'd send me a text, be like, yo, you just got an email from Nike times whatever. Are you interested in this? I'd be like, yeah, cool. It summarizes the email, the deliverables, everything. If I want to proceed, then it will start negotiating for me. And all of this is being sent to my text. So I don't have to check my email because I feel like a lot of creators don't ever check their emails. So it's putting it in a place where I could see, and then from there, just fully negotiates everything for me. And then another issue I noticed in the creator space was you have contracts everywhere, you know, like you get a contract from a company, you don't know where it goes, you send invoices, all your stuff is everywhere. So with the app, your contracts are stored in there, your invoices are stored in there, like all your tax documents are in one place. You're able to view your analytics in one place. You're able to have a tool that negotiates these deals for you and it stores everything. So it's basically everything creators need in one place. The management side of things with the app was a big part of it because I noticed a lot of creators have hard time finding agencies or management companies that provide value to them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these management companies don't do outreach for you. So they're managing your inbound deals and taking 20% of that.
Or more sometimes.
Or more, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Let's say you're a creator making $10,000 a month. That's $2,000 that you could be putting back into your content, paying employees, doing whatever, you know, helping you scale. It's being taken by someone who isn't doing any outreach for you.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Dude, I agree. I know some management people in the area and whatever, and I know what some other people get paid for stuff. And hearing their contract versus my contract, and I'm like, well, my contract was smaller, but I didn't pay the fee that you just paid. You have a larger following and are doing more than I'm doing, and I negotiated it myself. When really, I didn't even negotiate much. And then it made me realize, like, a lot of these management people aren't actually doing hardly anything. They're just like, oh, a renewal? Cool. Click. Here's my money.
Yeah. So if I had to summarize what Creator Pal is, I would say Creator Pal is an all-in-one AI app built to replace the traditional management system. So it handles everything from brand deals to your analytics and finances. And then it gives you your time back. So now as a creator, you get to focus on just being a creator.
So when is that going to be available? Is that something people pay like a whatever $20 monthly fee thing for it? Is it like a percentage thing? Like how does it work? And because it's not available yet, right?
Yeah, so we're still working on right now. By the time you guys see this, it will be out.
Okay.
But there's gonna be a monthly cost. It should be low. It should be like around the $20-$25 range. And then we'll take 5% commission on deals closed. So you're saving 15% working with us.
Cool. Yeah, dude. That's gonna be sick. Is that where is it? You mentioned all of those like lessons and videos and all that stuff. Is that just gonna be built into the app, or like where do people even find that?
So I have a link in my bio for school. If you go on school and search Limitless Creator Academy,
SKOOL.com school.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's been popping off. It's like a newer thing, but I think a lot of people still don't know about that. So
yeah, school is great. So if you go to Limitless Creator Academy on school, you guys could have access to all the free videos we made. There's like so many lessons. It's over 50 videos in there, and it's all free for you guys to use. And if you want to become a creator, honestly, that's the perfect place to start. Like nothing's charged. It's completely free. It's everything I've learned as a creator just put in one place.
Dude, everyone needs to go check that out. What is the most recent thing that you've learned that brought value to you in your life and or career?
As a creator or as a person?
Either one. Give us both. If you got good ones, give us both.
Okay. As a creator, I think the biggest thing I've learned was you need to succeed in the industry, you have to run it like a business. Like you are running a business. And if you are going around just posting to post, making content just to have it go up and posting videos that you like and not thinking about your audience, you're not really going to ever scale. Like your videos they might hit, because with TikTok, any video has a chance to go viral. And you could be lucky and have a video go viral here or there. But if you want consistent views, if you want to make money from your content consistently, then you have to have systems in place and you have to understand what's working and why it's working. So you shouldn't see your content career as just a hobby. A lot of creators who I meet, they're like, yeah, I post for fun. If you're posting just for fun, like, yeah, I have no clear direction, then you're going to make fun money. You know, you're not going to make real money because it's not a real business. You're not treating it like a real business. And this is a business. If you think of all the biggest creators in the world, Mr. Beast, let's say Ryan Trahan, let's say even like Steve will do it in the Nelk Boys. Like they're all running it like a business, and that's why they've reached the level of success they've had. Anyone who's just running it like it's just something fun on the side, you know, it's going to make money like a fun project on the side. You're going to get views like it's just fun on the side, you know, like everything's kind of like a mindset thing. And once you shift your mindset to understanding that this is an actual legitimate business and you start running it like one, then you're going to see a lot better results a lot quicker.
Dude, I think that's helped me with like my mental health a lot too, is recognizing that like this is just part of my career. It has no effect on my value as a human being. You know, whether or not I make more money or the thing gets more views or whatever, of course, I want to see more career success, but I don't view that anymore as like attached to my own personal value for success. So if something's not working, I'm like, bummer, I'm hitting a wall with my job. Just in the same way somebody else as a coworker who things aren't working or they didn't get that promotion that they thought they deserved. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't like kill their value as a human, you know. But I think a lot of people get it like have that too wrapped up into their life, like their social media stuff. They're like see things going and that's too much of their personality, so they're too affected by it. I think I'm at that perfect age where I think I'm a little bit older than you. When I grew up, social media didn't exist. It didn't come around until I was like a senior in high school. I'm 35.
How old
and so, I am? Well, based on how old Wyatt is, I'm going to guess that you are 25. How old are you?
23.
Oh my God, you're crushing it. And I'm just an old man. But because I grew up before social media, like was a thing that anybody really had, so many people that I grew up with don't use social media at all because it was never part of life. So for me, it was like very easy to separate the two. But I've seen a lot of people that struggle with that, where they can't really separate the two. It's like too much of their personal identity. What's something in life that you learned recently, not career?
All right. I went through a breakup earlier in the year, and I think I learned the importance of perspective. It was like a pretty decently long-term relationship, and the way it ended was kind of crazy. And I couldn't understand where she was coming from with some of the things, you know, so there was a lot unsaid. And I pulled away from like, I guess my viewpoint at the time of the breakup. And I was able to like go back and like reflect on the relationship and a lot of the things that happened. And I learned, first of all, you have to take accountability, you know, no matter how things go down, like you still have, I had control over a lot of things that during that duration of the relationship, you know, and there's some things that I did wrong and I had to take accountability for that. Even with the end, I think reflecting from the outside and really like, I guess, trying to see her viewpoint on a lot of the things made me realize the things I could have done better in the relationship, you know? And I guess that's what I was saying whenever I was like seeing like that other perspective. And I feel like that's something that applies to not just that, I guess, romantic relationship, but any relationship I have, whether it's working with my clients or like my employees, you know? I could get really frustrated with my editor, you know? But who knows? Like maybe something happened in his personal life and that's why he's like off one day, you know?
Yeah, I
So,
think it's a big part is just not taking things personally at all.
yeah, not
Because it
taking things
rarely is.
personally, yeah.
You know, like I was talking to this comedian the other day and I mentioned like I had sent all these messages to people, you know, for this convention or whatever. And within the first 24 hours anyways, I don't know that I got a message back from anybody. And so that day, my energy was just like gone. And I'm like, man, nobody thinks my work is cool. Like nobody? What in the world? And I know that's not really what it was. And talking to him, he was like, yeah, I mean, it's nothing personal either way. He's like, I didn't say yes because I personally wanted to help you or whatever. And I wouldn't have said, if I would have said no, it was nothing personal either. It was just a matter of like, did you send the message at the right time where I was like in the mood to want to do that? And it wasn't him being egotistical. He's like, that's just kind of how it is. And it's the same way with brands or anything. It's like, you don't know what their expectation is, what they're going through at that particular moment. You're just like sending them a message or you're doing your action, but you don't know how it's perceived by them, whether it's like your shortcomings, like whether or not you're reaching the expectations that they have, if they have any expectations at all. You really only have this like little limited scope. So it's pretty hard to like blame them too much for something when you have no idea what in the world's going on with their own lives. And again, with their own business or any of that. Okay, one more question. Mm-hmm. When you're doing something that you're passionate about for a living, you get to have really unique experiences, such as like going in the F1 car. That was a pretty dope story. Do you have any other stories like that? What's a story of a unique experience you got to have? Wasn't financially driven, but it was what makes all the hard work worth it.
This one time, a record label flew me into a shoot with Bella Poarch. Bella Poarch was like one of my TikTok crushes. Like I loved Bella Poarch. And I was in her like, you know how when these film sets, they have those little trailers?
Yeah.
I was in the trailer and she walked in and she knew who I was. That was so crazy. Like she had watched my videos. So I got to meet Bella Poarch and then Madison Beer was there. Like just everyone who, like all my like online crushes are all there in one place. Like that was so crazy. That was so surreal.
And that's why your girlfriend and you broke up.
That's crazy.
Dude, that's incredible.
But that was years ago. That was a really cool experience. I think another cool experience was all those trips we had with Wyatt traveling across the country, even though we're showering in Planet Fitnesses and gyms and sleeping in our cars, like being on the road, going from school to school, like that's such a cool job if you're really thinking about it. Like we're traveling, we're recording content, we're meeting new people. Like honestly, I wouldn't trade that for the world. Like I'm so glad we weren't staying at hotels and flying from place to place. Like that was a really cool bonding opportunity. And I'm glad I did it with someone as cool as Wyatt. I'm glad we made the memories we made. I'm glad we met the people who we met along the way. Like I wouldn't be who I am or where I am without that. So that's something I'm grateful I got the chance to experience.
Dude, the first time that you experience something in life is like truly special because you don't know what to expect from any of it. So the first time that you get to experience being on the road, I've talked to a lot of musicians and almost all of them reminisce about their first tour that they went around the country or their first time they went internationally or whatever. And the first time is never the most luxurious, but it's the first time that you get to have that like overload of information that you're around where you're like, oh my God, we could do anything right now. I don't know what to expect. This could be amazing. It could be horrible. Probably going to be a mixture of both. But because it's like a first time thing, it's way more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Dude, thank you so much for doing this. This was really cool. I got to go pick up my kids. Let me give you a quick gift of these headphones from Skull Candy. Fancy gold little earbuds. Those are the new Dime Evos. Those are $59.95 normally. And you get to bring them on your way in your sweet little Tesla back to the airport. Where can everybody go find you, follow you? If they wanted to try to get a message to you, what would be the best way? Because I get messages on TikTok and then on LinkedIn and then on Facebook and I don't read them. Instagram, Passion Pod. If you want to DM me, that's the best way.
Yeah. Send me a DM on Instagram at Leon the Kenyan, LeonTheKenyan. That's my more like lifestyle page. And that's where I push everything like creator forward. So that's where you'll find the link for Limitless Creator Academy. And you could reach out to me directly and ask me any questions about being a creator, my experience, my journey. and I'll be able to send you to the academy for free too.
Yeah, and if you don't respond, then I'll give them your phone number, and then they'll text you. No, I'm just kidding. Well, dude, yeah, thanks so much. Shout out to Wyatt Eiden. Go follow Wyatt. That's WYATTEIDEN to go find his content, because we talked about him a whole bunch, and he housed us here and brought us together. So shout out Wyatt. Wyatt, you are the best.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Passion Pod. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you soon.